Hello there, and welcome to my tour of my version of Spectacle Island. Spectacle Island was what this is called, right? I can't even remember. So, yeah, Spectacle Island. So here's my version of Spectacle Island. I kind of did something a little different this time around. We'll kind of walk through here and show you. So my thought process here is that this originally was an extension to the downtown Boston area. But what happened here was, so this is where some of the more high-tech, luxurious businesses were. And then this building right here, of course, took the brunt of the blast that happened, and it actually got knocked over and created this huge crevice here. It actually took out part of the city. And from the part of the city that was destroyed, we built this area. So we've got a combination of kind of the lower area that was built in the destroyed part of the city and what's left of the city. So that's kind of the story behind this. And then I decided I wanted to stream a river, I guess, going through the middle of it. So just to make it interesting, I've got water going through here. So here's kind of the lower area, and mostly down here is pretty much going to be the same thing that you see everywhere else. There's going to be little shacks for houses and stores. So like this is an armor store, for example. And then you can go upstairs and there's more armor to look at. And then the owner of this store lives back here, and this is his accommodations. So I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time going through every building because there's just so many of them. I think this build totaled around 12,000 pieces, so it's one of my larger builds. Yeah, I basically took my computer to its limits. I'm running ultra graphics right now, which is why you're going to see some bog down in some of the more detailed areas. Because to make a pretty video, I have to run ultra graphics. So this would be like a big store area. I think this is a bedroom. Yeah. So yeah. So I've got multiple levels to this area. Lots of shacks, lots of little hallways to walk through, like little in-between areas between people's houses that, you know, maybe they would use as a quick way to get around. So you can see we're kind of back here to this main drag here. And then these bricks are, of course, the foundations of the buildings that are still standing. And they actually drilled into one of them. And, you know, there's a bedroom here. And so there's another way through here. Kind of another path through. Up here you got another living space. Got the detective office over here. Got this hallway here. Now this is directly under the remaining, or the what's left of the city. So this was actually just tunneled out and built in. But there's a couple living quarters down in this area. Nothing that has been decorated crazily. I mean, if you download the blueprint and decide that you want to use this one and make your home whatever, you want your home down here instead of up in the city area like where I chose mine to be, then I guess you can decorate your own house. Continuing on through here, we've got the power area. So this is where our main generator is. Use the terminal here to access the door control. Just more living accommodations. Another bedroom over here. So more foundations of some of the buildings that are up there. Kind of a dock area back here. So we're going to continue on through here, and more living spaces. Basically everywhere that could have a building stuffed into it, either above or under another building, I did. Um, and then of course, you know, you got like a little beach area, some more shacks and other. You can see the high-rise buildings from here. So platform up to there. So yeah, this is actually very, very intricately detailed. It's kind of like the favelas. You know, just houses put wherever they'll fit. Um, and hopefully it won't fall down. So that's the story behind this area, and there's actually quite a quite a bit to it. I even tried to make it so some of the foundations are still standing, like in right here. Obviously, you've still got foundation, and you've even still got the sidewalks above you. In some cases, where the debris didn't take out um, the elevated areas. Um, so let's go over here to under. So here's underneath our bombed out building, and the foundation that's under here, and then underneath the skyscrapers, I decided to put a transit system in that would have taken them um, just to some of the other industrial areas in downtown Boston back before the war. That door actually does go up into this building. We'll take a look at that later. So I've got a kind of a small little mini subway through here. Um, and that's also part of why there was so much space underneath these buildings, is because there were subways and underground tunnels running through there. They got destroyed and exposed when this building basically collapsed into it. The hollow hallways obviously couldn't hold the weight. Through here, I've got this would be um, the working in areas, the industrial areas, the HVAC, and also the main power for these large skyscraper buildings. And I figured there could be living areas in here as well. I just didn't put any in there, a couple sleeping bags or whatever. People just kind of camping out wherever they can fit, you know. Um, so yeah, that's why some of these buildings here have pieces of the skyscraper used in their construction, because they salvaged what was left of the skyscraper to build this area. Another kind of home little here. So we're going to hop on up to this area. This area, I've got the residential area back here. I suppose we'll go peek at that. I got some sidewalks going behind these houses here. Some fencing. The lighthouse. All of these lamps, of course, are functional, especially if you're familiar with some of my other builds, especially my take on the Sanctuary. The Sanctuary 1938 series, or Sanctuary Royale. You're probably familiar with these. Here's our water station for water, obviously. I've got a couple destroyed buildings up here too. I didn't want to make everything look like it was untouched by the war, but for the most part, the rest of the city, the one building there took the brunt of everything. And so I know that's not the way nuclear blasts work. It's not like one building's just going to keep everything else safe, but I don't know. There's also an element of randomness. So some of these buildings are still intact, is my point. So got a hotel here, or a motel. A nice area for people to hang out. As you go into the motel. Checking in, some lounging areas. Come up here and go sit out on the porch in one of the chairs. There's also some rooms upstairs to stay in. Yeah, that's the motel. So we'll move on. We've got our church here, and seen the inside of a church here, so it's the same one that's in the game. Here we've got another clothing store, as you can see. And then up here, this area is not being used right now, but I figured it could either be more clothes or maybe storage. And then upstairs, he kind of has like a bedroom that he would stay in, or she, I suppose, whoever runs the place. And then a balcony. So right here in the shadow of one of the major R&D companies' satellite offices is this diner. And the diner is fully decorated. We've got Nuka-Cola stuff, a vending machine. We've got all sorts of booths here. Kind of proud of the diner because the diner set itself doesn't come furnished like that. So, I don't know. I like the way it turned out. Very retro looking. And then kind of come over here, swing over to these buildings. I figure this is just kind of an old-timey office building. So we've got this grand entrance here. Maybe have somebody playing piano. This is where the executive offices are. Like, they don't want to waste time taking an elevator up 300 floors just to get to their office, so maybe they have offices in a separate building. And that was kind of my idea behind this. We've got kind of a courtyard area here, as you can see. So here's our first, I guess, skyscraper building, modern office building, whatever. The way down here to the subway. You take the subway up into it. There's not much in this building. Again, if you like these buildings, you can continue to build up in them. But the only thing I put up here was like an office. And that's it. Like, I didn't put much more in this building, although there is space for it, obviously. I just kind of wanted, buildings just to take up space, to be set pieces, to kind of tell the location story. Some buildings I put more effort into than others as far as furnishing them. This is another empty one. This is going to be kind of an example of an old world building. So this building was obviously here for a long time. It's kind of like any major city. You'll be driving along, and sometimes you'll have a historic building right next to a modern, all glass and steel skyscraper. It's just the way it is. This building right here contains one of the, I guess you would call it, executive apartments. And with me, usually when I do elevators, or at least what I've been doing for the skyscraper elevators, is it's always going to be that there's nothing between the top floor and the bottom, so you don't have to worry about hitting second floor, third floor. It's always going to be the fourth floor. So you got kind of a small room in here. And then up this way, we're going to have like a master suite. So up here we've got a nice pool table and some very large windows that overlook the city. So both this city and you can even see Ground Zero out there. So up here we've got a bedroom, and then above the bedroom we have the dining room and the kitchen, and still more views, scenic vistas. Some chairs here to kind of relax and check everything out. We've got a small room in here that is kind of like a waiting area for this bathroom, and the bathroom actually has a pretty good view too. So sitting on the john, looking out over the city, and that's pretty much it for this building. So this building, houses mostly housing. So down here is kind of our lobby area, and I wanted a really big lobby for this place. I just figured that this would be where most of the higher ups could live. So I did not mean to hit the third button. It's going to stop us on a floor that isn't a floor. There we go. So right here is kind of a fancy. This one's not furnished, but it is ready to be furnished. It's got a good view of the downtown Boston skyline. This is the top floor apartment. So we've got our nice lounge area here. Got some pool table going on. Some piano, dining table. We've got a pretty big bathroom. Actually, it's a massive bathroom. And then we take the stairs up. Pass by our kitchen. And heading over to the bar where we've got some darts. Again, if you're familiar with my work, you'll notice that the decorations are a little toned down, and the furnishings are a little toned down. There's two reasons. Number one is it takes a long time to do that. It takes a long time to fully decorate every building, and frankly, the response that I get from these is not is not exactly motivating. I mean, if it was more positive, I might be more motivated to decorate. I decorate areas that I like and may use for my main character, and then areas that I know I'm not even going to use, maybe I'll throw a bed in there or whatever. So there's that reason, and then reason number two is my piece count in this build is somewhere around 11,000 pieces, and my computer's not a supercomputer, but I know that it's okay, and it's better than some computers, and my computer starts to choke after a while, and importing takes a while, and exporting definitely takes a while. So I didn't want to, have my computer trying to export for 2 hours, and then, if somebody downloads the blueprint and they have a computer that's on par with mine, or even a little better, I didn't want them to have to spend all day importing this stupid build. So I've downloaded and used builds before that have no decoration in them. It's just structure, and that's fine because it gives me more of an opportunity to flex my creative muscle. I don't think there's anything in this building. No, there's not. I just kind of wanted a downtown area, so that, like, if you've ever been in like a nicer, like Michigan Avenue in Chicago, for example, and you walk around at night, there's a lot of ambience, there's a lot of lighting, and nice areas to hang out. I'm kind of looping around this one on purpose. This one actually does have a lot in it, and we'll tour that in just a second here. We're just going to finish up with some of the more minor locations. Here's the police headquarters. I've got a jail in here. There's different cell blocks in there. And then the actual police offices are upstairs. And then in here's like the chief's office. So there's that. And then I put another store. Yes, this is okay. So I think this is the gun shop. The gun show. And then same thing with this guy. He's got his business downstairs, and then he lives upstairs. So not too much extra going on there. At night, you can see I did put lights in some of the windows, and that's just to obviously, some of those lights will be on at night, and so there are lit areas and if you like it, you can keep it. If not, it's easy to remove the lights. So this building, excuse me, I said it was a one of the big R&D companies' satellite offices, and you'll see why in a second. So their lobby is empty except for an elevator in the middle, and then you'll take the elevator upstairs, and of course you can change anything you want to about this. But the way I have this is, you take the elevator upstairs, and then some people would go to work in like this lab here, which is like a clean room, and then there's some tools over here for crafting, but the cool part is this. At the top of these elevators is where I have my player home, and I figure old world, it was the CEO of this company decided that he wanted a dang it, why do I keep hitting floor 3? He wanted like a vacation home or something. Okay, there we go. Yes, this is the last one. Okay, so we finally made it to the top, and here is the home I was talking about. So I put a big old house up here, and this one I actually took the time to kind of decorate and make it a little bit more my own. So you walk in, and to the left you've got kind of the living space, a giant fireplace and some paintings, and then a pool table here to enjoy, a small bathroom right here, and then the dining area is right here. Up here is where the kitchen is, and then another non-used space right there, but obviously you could put whatever you want there. Over here is going to be the bedroom. Go up these stairs, and here's the bed. Here's kind of a little living room. Balconies, lots of balconies, so you can see your cool views. You're actually higher up than the airship. I can't remember the name of the airship. And you over there you can see the impact area from the bomb, and so you can see a lot from up here, and that's kind of why I put so many balconies. And then of course you can actually go outside and enjoy the top of the building, inside of your railed-in yard here, and Pridwin, that's what it's called, Pridwin. And then last but not least, as what anyone needs is a secret area. And down here is my bat cave. So this is guns and ammo and outfits and everything that I want to keep in the game. The character that I used to build with isn't very far into the game. It's like I started another game and then just didn't care to complete the story, so I've just been doing builds with this character. So I don't have anything to put in those drawers or anything. So, but yeah, so you close your secret plaster, and then you close your bookcase, and there you go. That's all there is to it. So yeah, that is my Spectacle Island. Alright guys, well, thank you so much for watching my video. If you like the build, it is up on the Nexus, available for download under the Beardkeely's Builds page under Settlement Transfer Blueprints. If you like the video, go ahead and give a thumbs up and subscribe. Should be more videos to come. They're going slowly because, adulting and other things that demand my attention, and builds that are this big do take a while. But I appreciate all the support, and hope you enjoyed the build. Thanks.